Welcome to The Last Calm Word. Let us get started with today's story. Before that morning, Amber and I had been married for 7 years. We were not perfect, but we had built something that looked steady from the outside. A small apartment in the city, Friday dinners, quiet Sundays. I handled the long hours. She handled everything else. We had routines instead of surprises. And for a while, that was enough. Lately, though, something had shifted. She smiled less, stared at her phone more, and spoke like every sentence was half a thought. I told myself it was just a phase, the way people grow distant when life gets repetitive. I did not know then that she was already planning her escape. That morning, she stood by the door, suitcase beside her, beige coat buttoned, lipstick precise. "I'm taking a 2-week trip," she said. Her tone was almost cheerful, as if it were a surprise she had rehearsed. I looked up from the coffee mug. "A trip?" She nodded with Neil. "I need to find myself again, Thomas. I feel like I have forgotten who I am." I waited. There was a strange stillness in the air. "You mean Neil Carter?" I said, "Your ex." Her eyes flickered, then steadied. "Yes, I know how it sounds, but I need to understand what went wrong with me. I need space." I set the mug down carefully. "Perfect," I said. "I hope you find what you are looking for." She blinked. That was not the reaction she had prepared for. "You are not angry." I smiled slightly. "You have made up your mind. Why should I be?" For a moment, I saw doubt in her eyes, a small flicker of unease. But she smoothed it away with a deep breath. "I will be back before you know it." She leaned in, kissed my cheek, and left without another word. Through the window, I watched her walk to the waiting car. Neil stepped out, opened the door, and she climbed in. I stood there for a while, the apartment too quiet. Then I walked to the bedroom and started a box. Perfume bottles, hairbrush, the photo from our anniversary. When the box was full, I sealed it with tape and set it by the door. I picked up my phone, deleted her contact, and blocked the number. The next morning, I woke up before sunrise. I sat by the counter and opened my phone to one name I had not used in years. William Cross. William was not a friend. He was a private investigator who did not ask personal questions. When he answered, I said my wife's gone on a trip with her ex. I need to know where they are. He paused for less than a second. Names, Amber and Neil Carter. 2-week trip. Probably flew out of Newark yesterday. "I will call you in a few hours," he said, and hung up. I went to work like it was any other day. No one noticed anything different. By noon, I had already sent an email to my attorney, David Lowe, asking to start divorce proceedings. No confrontation, no drama, just signatures and dates. At 2, William called back. His voice was flat, professional. "They are in Wilmington, North Carolina. Small coastal resort, the Seaside Haven. Checked in last night, under his name." I wrote it down and told him to keep tracking quietly. That afternoon, I sat in the bank's office with my account manager. We closed our joint cards, froze shared savings, and moved everything to my private account. The man offered a sympathetic look, but I did not need it. This was not heartbreak. It was housekeeping. When I got home, I checked the time. She would probably be having dinner somewhere on that coastal boardwalk, pretending to rediscover herself. I sent William a short text. "Keep eyes open. Photos only. No interaction." This was not revenge. Not yet. It was preparation. By the 3rd day, my plan was already in motion. I took a half day from work and met a landlord downtown to view a furnished 1-bedroom near the river. The place was small but quiet. 1 window, 1 table, 1 life. I signed the lease on the spot and told him I would move in by the weekend. Back at the old apartment, I opened the closet and started separating things. On the dining table, I left a single brown envelope, divorce draft for review. Inside was the paperwork my lawyer sent. Beneath it, a short note in my handwriting. "You wanted space. Here it is." When I sealed the last box, I called William. "Any updates?" "She is still in Wilmington. Same hotel, different rooms at first, but she moved her luggage to his suite last night." "Get proof," I said. "Times, receipts, photos. Keep it clean. Already done." I did not feel anger anymore, just distance. The next morning, I moved my essentials into the new apartment. It took less than 2 hours. When I looked around the new place, it felt strange how easily life could be reduced to 1 carload. That night, William sent me 3 photos, Amber and Neil at a seaside restaurant, his hand on her back. Her smile was smaller than usual. He wrote only 1 line. "They look comfortable." I stared at the photo for a long moment, then deleted it. Comfort never lasts. I placed my phone face down, leaned back in the chair, and decided I would make my next move tomorrow. The next day started like any other. Coffee, news, and silence. Around noon, William called. His tone had changed, lighter than usual. "Thomas," he said, "there is something you should know. Neil Carter is not single. I set my mug down. Explain. He is engaged. Her name is Hina Malik, a doctor from Charlotte. They got engaged 3 months ago. Public post, family photos, the whole thing. For a few seconds, I did not say anything. Then I asked, "You are certain?" 100%. You want me to send proof? Yes. Everything you have. The email came through an hour later. Pictures, screenshots, tag posts. Neil is smiling beside Hina, holding a glass of champagne. Another one with his hand on her shoulder, captioned to forever. I did not feel anger. I felt an opportunity. That evening, I sat at my desk and drafted a short message. Dr. Hina, I believe this concerns you. I am Thomas Cooper, Amber's husband. Attached our photos and booking records of Neil Carter and Amber staying together at the Seaside Haven Resort in Wilmington. I have no intention of embarrassing anyone, only of being honest. You deserve the truth. No signature, no number, no emotion, just facts. I attached the files and hit send. By morning, William texted. She got it. At noon, he called again. She is here. Just arrived at the resort. Walked straight into the restaurant, where they are having lunch. I put the call on speaker and leaned back in my chair. Now she is talking to him, William whispered. He's confused. Wait, she just showed him the photos. Everyone's staring. What about Amber? I asked. She is pale, just standing there, no idea what to say. I closed my eyes. Good, let her stand. William exhaled. You want me to stay? No, I said. We are done here. I ended the call, muted the phone, and stared out the window. Some truths do not need witnesses. William called the next evening. I answered on the second ring. She is gone, he said. Hina left, walked straight to her car, threw her ring in the trash on the way out. Neil tried to stop her. Did not work. Then Amber started yelling. People watched. Good, I said quietly. You can close the file. After I hung up, I sat there for a long time, staring at the wall. 2 days later, Amber came back to the city. At first, she went straight to our old apartment, expecting to find me there. Instead, she found an empty space and a note from the building manager. Someone must have told her where I had moved. When the doorbell rang, I almost did not answer, but I did. She stood there. Thomas, can we talk? I stepped aside. 10 minutes. She walked in. You moved out, she whispered. I did. Her voice cracked. Did you tell her? Neil's fiancée. Yes. Her eyes filled with tears. Why would you do that? I kept my tone even. Because truth deserves to be seen. Same reason you said you needed to find yourself. She looked away, breathing hard. It was a mistake. I thought I needed space. I thought you thought the past would make you new. I said it did not. She nodded slowly, tears sliding down her cheeks. He is not who I thought he was. He said things. I believed. When Hina showed up, he just froze. Did not even defend me. I did not say anything. She waited, hoping I would fill the silence. Thomas, I am sorry, she whispered. Please, can we fix this? I shook my head once. No, Amber. Some things do not get fixed. They just end. Her lip trembled. You planned this, did not you? I met her eyes. No, you did. Then she left. By Friday, the papers were official. A court date was set for the following week. When the email came through, I read it once and archived it. Amber tried calling that evening. 2 missed calls, then 3 messages that started with apologies and ended with silence. I did not respond. A few days later, I saw her outside the lawyer's office. She was holding a folder. No makeup, no defiance left. When she noticed me, she froze, then forced a weak smile. Can we talk before we go in? She asked quietly. There's nothing left to talk about. Please, Thomas. I gestured toward the door. Inside. We sat across from each other in the small office while David went through the procedure. Every question had a simple answer. Division of property equal. Apartment lease hers. Car sold. Accounts closed. Amber's voice shook when she signed her name. I never thought it would end like this. It ended the moment you packed that suitcase, I said. Her hand paused. I was confused. I know, I said. That is why I am not angry. David nodded, collected the pages, and handed each of us a stamped copy. Once the court signs this, you will both be officially divorced. Amber did not look up. Her eyes stayed fixed on the paper in front of her. When we walked out, she stopped by the hallway window. He called, she said softly. Neil, he said Hina moved out. He wanted to talk. I did not answer. That is progress, I said. She turned to me. Do you hate me? I shook my head. No, I just do not know you anymore. We walked in silence until we reached the elevator. The doors opened and she stepped in first. Goodbye, Thomas, she whispered. Take care, Amber. 2 months passed before she reached out again. Her message was short. Can we meet once? No arguments, just closure. I read it twice before replying. Tomorrow, noon, cafe on 5th. The place was quiet. I arrived early, sat by the window. Amber walked in a few minutes later, eyes tired. She had lost weight. The fire that used to follow her around was gone. Thanks for coming, she said, sliding into the chair opposite mine. I nodded. You said closure. Let us have it. She wrapped her hands. I keep thinking about everything that happened. I was stupid, Thomas. I thought I needed to find myself, but all I did was lose everything that mattered. I let her talk. There was no point in interrupting. She went on, voice trembling. My parents barely speak to me. I have been staying in a small studio downtown. Feels like a punishment that never ends. I leaned back. Actions have weight. That is not punishment. That is a consequence. Her eyes glistened. I know. I do not know how to start again. You do it quietly. I said like everyone else. She looked down, then back at me. Do you still love me? I took a breath, steady and measured enough to walk away when it stopped being love. Amber nodded slowly, wiping her eyes with a napkin. You were always calm. I mistook that for not caring. I cared, I said. Just not enough to lose myself trying to prove it. She sighed. You deserve better. I already have better, I replied. Peace. 3 months later, the final notice arrived. Divorce decree granted. 1 envelope, 1 sentence, ending 7 years of marriage. I placed it in a drawer and did not look at it again. The apartment felt larger these days. I had learned to live with less. There was an order again. Silence, but not the kind that hurts, the kind that stays. William dropped by once with the last invoice. You handled this cleaner than anyone I have seen, he said. I just did what made sense, I replied. He smiled faintly. Most people do not. A week later, I received an email from Amber. The subject line was blank. Inside, only a few lines. Thomas, I am sorry. I have started therapy. I know I ruined something good. I hope you find peace. You always deserved it. I read it once, closed it, and did not reply. Through mutual friends, I later heard she had moved to another city. Smaller job, smaller place, quiet life. Neil tried calling her again, but she did not answer. She was alone, trying to rebuild something that used to be simple. I did not feel pity, just understanding. We all find our limits in different ways. Hers came too late. One evening, I drove by our old apartment. I parked for a moment, remembering how everything had started. Her laughter, our dinners, the plans that seemed solid once. Then I started the car and drove away. It was not satisfaction. It was peace, the kind that comes when the noise ends. And all that is left is clarity. Amber went to find herself. I just found my silence. Thank you so much for watching till the end. Wishing you all the best. Stay healthy and take care.